Alrighty then, today, manipulate. Would you like to see through any potential manipulation? First of all, it's a massive victim mentality. And the universal law of free will defines that there is this zero possibility that any entity can ever be possibly forced into doing anything they don't want to do. There would be part of their subconscious body that has attracted it, it's in the world, they can see it, and there's part of them that is a big massive victim. That is pretty much always down in the lower centers, and it's very much victim based, insecure based. So therefore that person is thinking with their coccyx gland or their base chakra, or essentially thinking with their ass. Not a very high vibrational wisdom place to come from. So let's have a look at the word. As always, whether you call it the word of God or the universal truth of energy that works the way through the nervous system and the different circuits or nadis, is man, I, poo, late. You'll notice that the people who are generally emotionally retarded and victims have that much stuff in their intestines, and if a person hasn't colon cleansed significantly and done it rectally, they poo late. If you don't have a digestive system and a digestive fire that has 1 mil in, 1 mil out, ideally getting rid of more than you're putting in toxic wise, because then you actually learn and grow and get better, then they're pooing late. They're holding on to their shit. Literally on every level. Not literally, because we haven't written it down. I'll do that. So you'll notice the digestive system is poor. So as a result, the frequencies come in from the universe, and in particular in the matrix around us, comes in through the endocrine system or the chakras and goes like a disco ball through their digestive system, and then they have to go out in emotions. You'll notice they're usually fear-based emotions. So if they poo late, they're holding on to this shit on every level. And as you can see, it's see-through. So those of us who have some sort of digestive fire, some strength, some power, and some confidence, then the I, which is essentially here, or which comes up to here in the nervous system and endocrine glands, their I is pooing late, holding on to their stuff really slow and dense. So therefore they don't understand the high vibrational concepts or spirituality and philosophy or wisdom, even though they may think that they do. But that's a complete false illusion, because the ability to use wisdom, spirituality and philosophy cleanly only starts, and you can see oneself, or the I. Remember, there's only one I in manipulate. They have to look through a sense of oneness, a sense of self. And then once you get up to the crown, then is the only time you're actually able to cleanly understand high vibrational concepts like universal laws. So if they poo late, their entire subtle bodies, or the subtleties of their body, are very late, slow, heavy and dense, so they're unable to control themselves. And if you'll notice that people who are and it's because it's in the subtleties of the body, the person will not realize it, because the brain is definitely not connected until these higher centers are awakened. So they're always coming from the lower centers. They'll be slow on anything. They may think that they're quick, but you'll notice that because there is so much tension on the spine, they are not in control of their own digestive organs, because the nervous and immune system comes in and goes and goes out frequency-wise, subtle. So if they don't have control of their own digestive system, and that takes a significant amount of work in gut health mastery, and if the person hasn't studied nutrition or personal development and gut detoxification for several years, they will always be slow and late, because they're not in control of their own body, their own mind. And there's very few people on the planet who have got their third eye awakened, because you have to connect it to the solar plexus point, or the eye. So they may be a little victim that says, oh, that person controlled me to tell me to do this, or the matrix did this or that. That absolutely is their universal truth according to them. But it is not universal truth according to the higher centers, because universal laws say no one or anything can be manipulated. So that includes the most nastiest, biggest traumas, but that is attracted by the nasty traumas or something that is inside us. Best to fix that. And so it's absolutely impossible for anybody to manipulate anybody else, because they're just giving away their power or giving away their sense of control because they didn't like the outcome, but they attracted it, they chose it on every level. So let's get some power, let's get out of victim mentality, because you didn't have to take the action unless you chose to. We can only ever make suggestions. We may make a stronger suggestion to somebody and may be good for them in the longer term, but they may just not see it or perceive it. But let's face it, until you get up to here, the level of perception is rather poor. And I can tell that from myself, friends and clients, and my own experience. I used to think I was intelligent, but then I actually woke up. Higher senses. And got rid of what we think is intelligence, which is generally mucus, fungus and parasites in the gut, because that's the egoic construct that is down here. And you'll notice that anyone who thinks that they can be manipulated, or they're weak little victims, they have no control over their own lives, how can they control their thoughts to say that they've been manipulated or make that decision in the first place? Simply don't have that ability within their body. Generally because they don't have the ability to control their own immune system. So they don't understand what is good for them, what is bad, what's their soul, what's not. They're essentially immune to making a good decision and taking responsibility for that. Might want to skip that. Universal law of free will. It's impossible to argue with universal laws, especially if you don't understand it. You don't understand it until you get up to here. So, manipulate. Stop using excuses, powerless, victim-based excuses to say that someone else can control you. You still chose it. Or you chose your bodily condition because it's your body. Nobody else can put food in you. Nobody else can put herbs or detox or do anything to your body unless you chose it. You attracted it. It's there. You might not have predicted it. You not like the outcome. But if you don't like yourself and you don't have control over yourself or your own outcome and your own senses, which, hey, I still haven't got my full capacity of my senses, and I'm up to chakra 21 with psychic abilities coming through now. And so they completely are unaware of the I. Oh, this I.